Hello everyone and welcome to episode 42 of the Wizard101 Let's Play series. Checking if I'm recording. Now last episode we finished Waterworks, and since then I've done a little bit off screen. I'm level 62 because I did Waterworks once, and then I leveled up again because I was really close. I got all of the Waterworks gear, as you can see. It's stitched, still have the Sky and Hasta. Got these two. I have this level 62 amulet that gives me 290 health, and I've been training up a pet. I know that the pip chance is shit, don't worry about that. Also the pet is kind of bad, but I have Defy and Dealer now, which really boosts my damage and resist, which is really good. I know that jewel is kind of crap, but I don't have any others either. I've got a second deck. I've also done my school quests and got a Raw and I believe Power Nova or Supernova. Power Nova. And yeah, that's basically it. We're gonna get started with Celestia today. This is going back to being an actual solo walkthrough rather than me being power quested. So let's do this.
Exciting news. Oh, exciting news indeed. Professor Baelstrom's efforts to enter the door to Celestia have met with success. Baelstrom has repaired Celestia's spiral key. Now we can go to that strange, star-lost world and learn of its fate. Here you go. For obvious reasons, you have more than earned this.
Headmaster Ambrose hands you a spiral key carved with astronomic symbols.
Oh, yes. There's a distress call from the Spiral Geographic Society trapped on Celestia. Do see if you can help them out.
Alright, so let me start a stopwatch. I've already been recording for probably around a minute, so I'll have to add a minute to that. But basically the plan for today and most of the Celestia is I'm just going to do street by street. There might be some episodes where I do 2 streets in one episode. I don't know. It all just depends on how long the streets are. So yeah, I also changed my recording settings again to see if I can get some better quality.
Oh, hello there. Did you get our leader is with...
I don't know if it's noticeable, but yeah, should be fine. Today we're doing Survey Camp. If we have time, we'll do Survey Camp and the Grotto, but it might actually slow down now that I'm soloing again. We'll see.
I don't remember. So,
I love the fact it's just funny to me that like the Marleybonians are basically just the British, and they are colonizing everywhere, like Krakatopia and Celestia.
yeah.
I always found that funny. I just realized this quest is called Survivors. So does that mean some people actually died? Because that's kind of metal.
Is it safe to go back to the promenade yet? I've been hiding here for a while now and am a bit cold and hungry.
I'm a bit cold and hungry. Yeah. But, I'm kind of excited to be in Celestia. It's a change of setting, a change of music. We've been in, Winter Tusk for so long. I mean, really, like, see, Dragonspire is probably one of my least favorite worlds. Like, it's cool,
Rescue at last.
but it
Thank you.
isn't
Thank
my
you,
favorite,
thank you.
you know, for obvious reasons. It's pretty long, it's a little bit repetitive in a lot of places. Sorry, excuse me. But it's, you know, it's a cool world at least. Celestia, I feel the same way. It gets long and boring in a lot of places, but it is a very interesting
Wonderful
looking
work.
world, sounding world. Just about everything is rather interesting. The creatures are cool. Overall interesting world versus, you know, some of the other worlds which aren't as interesting. Of course, like my favorite worlds, like Krakatopia and Mushu, they're, to me, besides them just being nostalgic, is the fact that their everything is interesting. Like, the problem with Celestia and Dragonspire is that their environments are interesting and their mobs are interesting, but their quest lines aren't as interesting compared to, you know, other worlds. And just Krakatopia in general has that feel to it, you know, where it has the music, it has the setting, and then you're also, you know, traveling through ancient tombs and, you know, doing stuff like that, rather than like these worlds where you're just kind of like, yeah, do this, yada yada yada. But it could be worse. Like, in my opinion, the worst world in this game is probably Chrysalis, because Chrysalis, it has the quest line, but the music and the setting isn't as interesting. So it's like the reverse of most of these, where it's like the quest line's meh, but the setting and characters are interesting. And that's a problem, because you need to know how to balance that, and I feel like King's Isle as a company does. They do in a lot of cases, but there's certain worlds that they're just rather lackluster in comparison. Like, I would say the first 4 worlds, Wizard City through Mushu, all have, they have a quest line that's good, they have settings and characters that are good. Dragonspire has a good quest line. I think it's just too long, so it gets boring, you know? Like, you can see that in my Let's Play series. All my other worlds are like 4 to 7 episodes per world. And then you have Dragonspire, which was like 10 episodes. I don't think it was 10, but it went from like episode 30 to like, or maybe 29 to like 36, which is still a decent amount of time. Like, it isn't as long as some of them, but, or some of them will be. Like, Chrysalis is probably going to be like 12 to 20 episodes, somewhere in that region, I believe. Celestia, I imagine, like, I'm not going full solo. I'm still gonna take my fire or storm wizards to, like, perhaps, you know, the last, like, what's that called? The spiral. I don't know, but the last dungeon in the world. It's really nice to be able to solo on my balance now. It feels really good, you know? Because I finally have, like, an actual soloable character again. Because I have resist now, which is in the 30%. Which, if I could get spellproof on my pet, it would go up even more. And he actually has damage now, you know, where, like, his sandstorms don't do 400 or 500 damage. They actually do, with a blade, they do over 1,000. Which is really nice. I also have critical chance now if I need it. Overall, it's really good. You won't see my gear changing probably at all throughout Celestia. You might see, depending on my level, you might see Athame and Ring changing, but my basic gear, you're not going to see any of this changing. Maybe a wand, too, if I can find a better wand. I know that, packs can give good wands. See, what I don't like about this, particularly with these, like, things at 910 health, yeah, see, I was 1 damage off. It's just the range of the spell, where I can do anywhere from 480 to 520 damage. If I'd done the 520 damage one there, I would have killed them in 1 hit, you know, rather than having to kill them in 2 hits with each of them having 1 health. Oh, another thing that's great is my pip chance. Now my pip chance, I believe, is 93, 94, which is, you know, really good compared to the past. I mean, obviously, like, like, obviously my pet, it kind of sucks that it has the pip chance, but at the same time, it's actually kind of good, because it means I'll have, you know, 94%, 93% pip chance, rather than 89. That collect quest is always the worst, and I'm glad that I had something to talk about through the entire thing, but oh my, like, that quest actually used to be worse, because I think you used to have to collect even more than that, but recently they've gone to worlds like this, and especially the earlier worlds, and they've revamped them so the collect quests aren't as harsh, which I thank King's Isle so much for doing in certain cases. I mean, it's kind of disappointing because it would be nice if you could, if you still had that struggle that everyone that played in the old days knows about, where you have to collect things, you have to do battles over and over and over again, and it gets tedious, but it also had a charm to it, you know? And I feel like removing that, like, that last quest was good, because it's frustrating, because it took 3 battles to get, but it's still better than, you know, 8 battles, or even 1 battle. I would rather have to do 2 or 3 fights for a collect quest than either 1 or 8.
Spot on.
Alright. So, I actually don't know what, how long each of these streets are. I don't think they're super long, and they probably won't take me like a really long time, because, now that I'm level 62 at the beginning of Celestia, which is much higher than almost any other, like, I'm gonna be higher than literally any other person we see in this world. Mainly because, I mean, how many people have you seen that have waterworks gear before they go into Celestia?
You find a tiny piece of rubble with a stone carving on it, part of a larger stone building.
Usually the street that you get waterworks gear in this world on, like, if you don't do what I did, because I was already kind of overleveled,
it looks strangely
and
familiar.
I don't know if I said last episode what I did to get up to this level, but I did the gauntlets, and I also did something a little bit cheesy, which I don't recommend doing, which is, I teleported into a dungeon that I'm not supposed to be in yet. And I did that because I am willing to sacrifice future XP to be able to solo now, which I think for, like, in a normal game, I wouldn't recommend doing that ever. I wouldn't recommend teleporting into dungeons, because it doesn't really help you in the long run. But in this Let's Play series, it's very much so that it was kind of important that I do it. And the dungeon I teleported into was the portico of Celestia. So rather than getting 40,000 experience when I go there in probably 2 or 3 episodes, I'm going to be getting 20,000, which is still a decent amount. It's not as good, but it's still a decent amount, which is why I wouldn't recommend at a really early level doing it. For me, it was fine, because it wasn't like I was getting less XP than I normally would have. I was still getting, you know, I still got the 40,000, which is why, like, at really beginning levels, it's not recommended to teleport into dungeons, because if I was level 1, say, and I teleported into there, I would have gotten 400 experience, and obviously that's not good. But back in the olden days, that was kind of fun and kind of funny, because you could get a character that was level like 40 in Wizard City, because all you needed to do was teleport them into something like the Portico or Crimson Fields, and they would level up like 30 times, you know? It was rather insane. But it's not like that anymore. And don't worry about in the future, like, don't worry about, like, me getting less XP, because every single, like, me teleporting into that dungeon before, all that did was shift around, like, when I would do it. I honestly probably would have been the exact same level going into the dungeon that I was. Maybe not the exact same level, but I would have been a similar level going in as I was. Mainly just because I did that dungeon so I could get up that experience, you know, that I needed. Which I'm glad that I did. Like, if you guys don't like that as much, I'm sorry. I made my decision and I'll stand by it. I feel like it was the right choice to make because now I can actually solo again, and this feels like a solo Let's Play rather than me power questing myself through the game. And I enjoy that a lot more. Like, I'm going to probably find Celestia more fun soloing it with difficulty than using Meteor Strike 30 times and, you know, actually having to... And, like, now I'm actually struggling, or I'm going to struggle a little bit in some cases. I might die in some places.
Who's this?
You don't
An
see as
intruder.
much. Ah, fuck.
Let me get to my claws.
Alright, let's remove... No, not Sandstorm. Let me remove... Raw, because I don't need it. So... How much health does this guy have? Probably not a ton. Yeah, 3,600. That isn't that bad. I hope this Iceman doesn't shield. Celestia is rather funny, right? Because it feels like such a shift in difficulty. Because it went from me being in Winter Tusk with all the bosses having 5 to 10,000 health to this, which all the bosses have 3,000 health, 4,000 health. And that's what they'll have through most of it, which is actually really nice. And I really, oh fuck, I keep discarding things. It's really nice, you know. I actually can. It's like I'm less challenged, but at the same time I'm more challenged. You know, it's kind of balanced itself out in the long run, and you'll probably see that these episodes like. We've already been going for 15-16 minutes, which I'm pretty sure actually that means we'll probably get the grotto done this episode too. But should I go for it? I can't really get too many more things. Does Spectral Blast, I've never figured this out. Does Spectral Blast do damage based off of that school's damage or balance damage? Like, is this going to do plus 86% because of my balance, or is it going to do plus 30% because of my storm? That felt like it was plus 80%, but I might be wrong. Okay, well, let's test it right here. So, it was, I believe, 400, 450, and 550, or something like that. So if this does 1,000 damage, we'll know it's based on... If it does close to 1,000 damage, we'll know it's based on balance damage. This should be like 800, 900. No, I think it's actually on your... It's on your other damage. That's interesting. And I don't know if I like that, honestly. I don't think that's the right move. Because if you look, I'm going to have 10% damage to that, right? Yeah, I'm gonna have 10% damage. And no, because that wasn't 10%. Let me do the math real quick, right? So if that would have done, say, 475 at base, and multiply that by 1.86. Yeah, that should have done 883. But if I multiply it by 1.1, Yeah, that number doesn't make sense. Where did that number come from? I have no clue. It's gonna be 400, 600 plus the faint. They should kill. I need to. Oh, damn you! Damn you, judgment. Die. Whatever. Now it's definitely gonna kill. I don't know where that number comes from. I actually have no idea. Because it doesn't feel like 86%, but it also doesn't feel like...
The crustacean drops a big piece of stone. It looks familiar, like it belongs to the portal back in the Celestia base camp.
Oh, wait. Wait, no, it was 80%, because this ice one is 365. I was doing 470. That makes sense, okay. That makes sense. So, I actually don't know how much XP I'm going to be getting from this world. I'm getting, I think, if I remember correctly, average is about 1,000 to 3,000 per quest in the beginning. And then it's going to start getting higher and higher. By the end, it'll probably be something similar, just a little bit less. Or a little bit more, sorry. We'll see. But I know that there's definitely some quests that'll, like, level me up. Like, the last dungeon gives 25,000 XP. So that's good. That means I will, like... I'll probably be, like, level 65, 66 at the end of this world. You know? Rather than what you'd think. That's my guess. But I might be wrong.
You follow West's instructions and make a rubbing of the inscriptions on the strange stone tablet.
Oh, he's over here now. Never mind. I didn't need to do that. I didn't need to leave that mark, I don't think. Damn it. I also decided to switch back to the penny farthing. I don't know if I ever used that in this Let's Play, but I decided to switch to the penny farthing because I don't know. This is probably my favorite mount in the game, just because it's cool. It's got that steampunk look. It's got the you know, big wheel in front, small wheel in back, which is pretty cool. Is he above me? Oh no, he's over here. I'm just dumb. Okay.
Very nice work. I think I...
Also, you'll notice that, because of my pet, and I've socketed this, gold boost jewel, I'll be gaining slightly more gold. So, like, instead of giving 71, this will give, 78, which is pretty cool. Like, it's not incredibly useful, but it does add up over time. And I mean, I have a bunch of gold anyway. Actually, I have less gold now, but I had like 300,000 earlier. But I actually used it on pet snacks, because if you notice, I maxed out all the stats of my pet. I left a mark here. Ah, gosh. Gosh darn it.
You speak the
You like that,
Celestian
YouTube?
words, and as you do,
Am I
you
pleasing
feel a
you
strange
by saying
change
gosh darn it?
coming over you. The feeling soon passes, and you feel normal again.
Monetize me, bitch. Oh, I swore. Fuck. I mean, fuck. I can't be monetized for a while anyway. It's weird because on some of my videos it looks like there's like a yellow, like a line, like there's supposed to be an ad there, but there isn't an ad. And I can't get ads because you need like 1,000 subscribers and like a shit ton of watch time. I don't think it's a shit ton of watch time. I think it's just like 1,000 hours in the last year or something. And I mean, I think I'm like 200 hours in the last year. So I just need 5 times the amount of watch time, which isn't that bad. I'll get there someday.
I don't remember.
Just use the word fisticuffs. That's fair. Excuse me. How long has it been? It's been 22 minutes. That's not bad. We're probably going to finish the grotto in maybe 40. So this first episode of Celestia will be 40 minutes. You might notice that I'm less stuffy than last time. As I say that, I like sniffle, but it's definitely, you know, better than last time, which is why I waited a little bit. Sorry if you just heard me adjusting the microphone. That's actually why I waited a little bit to record more episodes, because I didn't want to keep recording them if I was sick, and I actually had enough to the point where I could take a break for a few days, which is good, you know, because it means I could, like, recover from my sickness. And, it definitely helped, and now we're here. We're starting again in episode 41, 42, 42. And I fizzled. That kind of sucks. Excuse me. I'm actually gonna blow my nose because I'm not that stuffy, but... yeah, that's alright. Do I have a drink? I don't believe I do. I just have a bunch of, like, strewn about vitamin waters that are half drinking. I'll drink at some point. Did not collect clues. Are you kidding me? Excusez-moi. C'est is très stupide. And that other one didn't get in. Now I'm gonna have to wait around. Everything's going wrong. Here we go. Yeah, so I actually kind of hope this recording quality is better. I discovered... So see, I don't really know how OBS works. Like, I kind of do. I just kind of go with the flow, though. I know that streaming uses bitrate, and apparently, which I just figured out today, is that you're supposed to use a different encoder for recording. You're supposed to use, I think it's like CQB, CQR or something, which is a NVIDIA thing, and it works better, supposedly, because it doesn't use bitrate, it just goes based on quality, which is what I think, because before I was recording at like 30,000 bitrate with my recordings, but I think that was messing with the thing. I think this should be better. I mean, we'll see. It should be fine. Okay, pieces of coral. Where are said pieces of coral? Would they perhaps be in the coral castle? No, I'm pretty sure that there's some over here, right? I think this is where they are. Yes. Piece of coral. I love this Celestia music. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I hope that does... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to, because I don't want to mess with the recording. But it's so good. If KingsIsle knows one thing, it's how to make music. Oh boy. They really know how to make music match the world. My best example of this is Crocotopia. Crocotopia, the music matches perfectly with what you want. I mean, honestly, I say just Crocotopia, but honestly, every single world matches really good. The only one I won't say it doesn't match the world, but the only one I don't like is Chrysalis, and I think that's just because I find it less intriguing than the rest. I think, yeah, the ones that match the most, though, are definitely, like, Crocotopia, Mushu, Dragonspire. Celestia is really good. Safari is really good. I feel like I always neglect to talk about Avalon when I go into my rants like this. And I feel like that's just because I don't like Avalon as much. And you'll know once I get to Avalon why I don't like it as... I mean, I'll tell you right now anyway, but you'll hear it a lot when I'm there, is that the entire quest line is pointless, okay? I mean, it's not pointless, but it's basically pointless. Because, I mean, you're learning about Morgana's past, which is good. And, I mean, it fits the whole Harry Potter aesthetic. Learn about your enemy thing that it mirrors. But at the same time, basically what the world is you're going for the Sword of Kings. You're going to get the Sword of Kings. You're told it's a really powerful weapon that you'll use to defeat Morgana. But the problem is that the Sword of Kings sucks. Like, when you get it and you look at its stats, it's so dated. It's like its stats are ridiculously weak compared to what it should be. Okay, so it's star, sun, moon. But like it's actually sad how weak it is. Like I think it gives like a little bit of crit. Oh wait, this isn't the right one, is it? No, it's star, sun, moon. Right? Star, sun, star, sun, moon. I never liked this because it's very much like you almost have to get into a battle, which I don't like. I mean, you obviously don't have to, but I don't enjoy it. Alright, sun and moon. I should be able to get this. Eel should go around, yeah. And that's how you get it without getting in a battle.
You have to
be
the second
patient.
portal piece.
Now, hopefully I just don't get into a battle when I do this. Alright, perfect. Perfect. I love the fact that I'm underwater, but I'm riding a bike. It's like, yeah, that works. That does work in real life. If I remember correctly, at the end of the grotto, there's actually this really good dungeon. Like, it gives a decent amount of XP. It might not actually be a dungeon. It might just be a thing. But that's this last thing, the Coral Castle. I'm pretty sure it gives like 10,000 XP, which is really good. I'm definitely gonna, you know, I think my level 66, 65 estimate might have been off. I hope it's off, because I don't really want to only gain 4 levels from this. I honestly, it might be more towards 68, which isn't bad at all, because that's what level usually you are, like, later, later Azteca. Not Azteca, sorry, that's completely wrong. Later Zafaria. Which, speaking of that, Zafaria is the next world after this, and I am so excited for Zafaria, because Zafaria is probably top 5 favorite worlds for me. Someday I might make a, actually top favorite Wizard 101 worlds, because I talk about it so much, it probably might as well just make a video about it. But, just giving a sneak peek, that would probably go Croc, Moosh, Zafaria, and then I actually don't know. I don't know if I'd put Marleybone in top 5, but it would definitely go Crocotopia, Mushu, and Zafaria in some form of order. Because Crocotopia is my favorite world. Most definitely. Every single time I start a new wizard, I'm super excited, and I power through Wizard City because I'm always striving to get to Crocotopia. Then I get to Crocotopia and I'm a little bit bored. I think it's just a nostalgia factor for me. Particularly the Pyramid of the Sun and the Temple of Storms. Crocosphinx I don't like as much. And I think that's actually because of past experiences there. Where I was actually stuck there for a very long time. This is Old Wiz, by the way. This is when the last world was like Celestia, probably. So 2011 maybe. 2010 actually.
All the crustacean pincers are following the same path. A giant armored starfish holds the gate closed.
I'm gonna leave a mark
it won't
here.
be easy to open.
Excuse me. It actually will be kind of easy, despite what she says. I mean, I'm pretty sure the only thing we need is like seaweed or something. Actually, and there's another boss we have to beat, right? I always try to remember, like, I always try to remember the content of the streets, because I've played this game so many times that I always find it interesting to test my knowledge.
A giant.
Like, I could probably, if I thought hard enough, I could list all of the Wizard City quests in order. Like, I'd say I could probably do the same with Croc, but I'm not actually sure about that. But I know I could for Wizard City. Like, it's actually, it's kind of funny how many times you play this game and then you suddenly just know it. Like, I'm obviously not the best player out there. I don't do PvP, and when I do PvP sometimes, I tend to fail quite disastrously. But, you know, it's not a bad game.
What's the big idea? You just
Hey,
about
what's the
yourself
big
a
idea?
thrashing for
Oi,
bothering me.
Alright, let's see. Let's use raw. I've never used raw before. But it's interesting. It's a good spell. And I want to use it. Don't shield him. You did. Motherfucker. I kind of, like... Celestia is a really good world. Despite what anyone says, what anyone tells you, it is a good world. It might be a flawed world. It is long. It's annoying, particularly like in the later streets, like Crustacean Empire, which is very like boring and drawn out questline. But it isn't bad. It isn't a bad world. The astral magic introduced was a game-changing thing that was really interesting. It completely made the game a lot more dynamic. Like, if you look, I mean, what is half the stat page now? Yeah, you have a whole section for crit and block. And that's so, you know, important to the game now. Compared to, you know, back like when it first came out, it didn't even have those. It didn't have that system. Alright. So, raw next round. I'm trying to think. I have a lot of training points that I don't really know what to use for. Obviously I used some for, you can see I got Gargantuan, which was really important for me because I really was tired of using monstrous treasure cards all the time, even though I have like 800 of them in a stash now. So whenever I have a new character, I can use that. We must praise Ra. His godliness. Praise be to Ra. Should be dead. Oh, he's at 200 health. That means this guy probably isn't gonna die, right? How much health does he have? 1600? Oh no, he only had... Oh, I was thinking the ice enemies. He's only a storm. Yeah. Only had a bit. Feck. Oh, this is big Feck. Doing like 1,500 damage, actually. Alright, let's see. And by let's see, I mean, you shall die. 500? 700.
Don't hurt me! The starfish likes to eat algae. When we feed it algae,
Yes,
it
algae.
relaxes and
I
opens
said
the door.
seaweed before, I meant algae. But, I believe... Yeah, I need to beat these guys. Crustacean wave runners. Which were what I was thinking of before. I think they have 1,600 health. But my memory could be faulty. I hope this
Now
last
we're
boss... I don't think it's, oh, 13,000 XP. Whew. That's actually better than just about anything I got in Winter Tusk, which is really nice. Like, the street quests, like the normal quests in Celestia don't give you as much, don't give you as much XP as Winter Tusk, but the boss fights and stuff really tend to keep going, you know? I just got a comment on my YouTube channel from probably another spam bot. I think I'm getting like spam botted of people to of like those spam accounts that want subscribers that are like obviously not legitimate accounts and aren't beneficial. I mean, I still like their comments and interact with them, but it's kind of disheartening because the only comments I get are comments of, you know, not real people, which is, you know, disappointing. But it's fine. It's fine. Excuse me. Okay, so this is gonna require multiple of these because that first one is shielded and the second one isn't gonna do enough damage to it. Okay, should I do this? I probably should. Hopefully that second one won't shield itself. But it might. I mean, it's going to require a third sandstorm either way, but it could be worse. Excuse me. What are we at now? About 40 minutes? Yes, 40 minutes. Which is perfect. It means this episode will be about 48, probably, I'd imagine. Alright. Skip around. Please give me a power pip. Yes. I always get nervous. Like, my fire, obviously, we were looking at it earlier, but he has a 102 power pip chance, which means he'll never not get a power pip. You know? He'll never get a normal pip. Which is good. That's what I want. Because I really dislike the chance of getting a normal pip. Makes the battle situation a lot more stressful because it means I could, like, it could change a lot. He's gonna shield. This is annoying. Oh, he bladed. That's... Wow, they're working together. Or not. But they could be. They could have been blading up for something. Now, where's my 14% crit chance? Damn it. At some point in the future, I'll need to get a better wand. I mean, obviously, like, my wand isn't awful. The Skyrim House is probably the best wand you can get for a while. Just because it has that 10% damage, which... That's why I would recommend any level 30 to do Mount Olympus. It's an extremely necessary thing to do. But I really want to get those wands that actually, you know, give me damage boost and crit. Because if you don't know, you know, King's Isle changed the crit system. So once you get past level 100, you have a significantly lower percent chance to crit. But up until then, it uses the old crit system, which means right now, if I got up to 300 crit, I think I would have a good, like, 80% chance of critting, versus my fire, which is at 600, 600, and he only has a, I think 50% chance to crit. See, this is the quest I was talking about, where it was the old type of collect quest that would piss you off beyond belief, because the drop rate was so low that you actually needed to do like 10 battles. I mean, it used to be worse for a lot of the earlier quests, because a lot of the earlier quests, like, were god-awful. Like, I remember there's this one, even in, like, in Firecat Alley, first street, you know, you have collect arrows from fire elves, and that could take you up to, like, 10 battles, because you need to collect 4. And then you had, like, the charred knife from the Magma Man. that would take sometimes up to like 15 battles to do. I remember I have old Let's Play series that it took me like a long time to get the Charred Knife. And it's the same thing with the Rune Skull and Cyclops Lane. The old collect system could be a real like bitch to get over, because it could take so long sometimes. And you can actually still see it, like in some of the newer worlds, in Celestia through Chrysalis. You can see them slowly phasing it out, but it's still there. Like, this collect quest is awful because its drop rate is so low, and the enemies use shields quite often. I mean, I got lucky there. It only took me 3 battles, I think, but...
You feed the algae to the starfish on the gate.
Nereus. I believe Nereus is actually the name of a Greek myth of, like, a crab dude thing. I don't know if he's actually a crab dude, but he was a Greek myth. Oh, I forgot to get the,
So this is the intruder
Lounging Lizard
who dares
quest.
enter our realm.
I don't
What
think
a
the lounging...
jest.
Oh,
You
boy.
don't even have a softer shell.
I don't think the lounging lizard's in here, so it's fine, but I forgot to get it, which is annoying. Okay, Nereus, also known as the Old Man of the Sea, was the son of Pontus and Gaia. He was the father of water nymphs, Nereids, and Nereids. Yes. So, he wasn't a crab, he was just an old man. Old Man of the Sea. Yeah. So this one's probably going to take another judgment afterwards too, but that's fine. I like the added challenge where I just don't spam Meteor Strike, you know? For future episodes, I'm not going to do it for these ones because I really don't want to, but I'm probably going to cut out really hard collect quests, like really annoying collect quests where it takes me forever. Like, in this episode, if I felt like it, I probably would have cut out those 2 or 3 battles of the, collect before this, but it doesn't matter. This episode's only going to be like 48 minutes anyway, you know? And next is the Floating Land, which, if I remember correctly, is a pretty interesting street. It's a shorter street, but it's pretty interesting. Because I think it's the only street that's actually on land. Oh! Boys, we got a crit. We're in. Look at this. Ooh. How much damage? 4K? Just about 4K. And that's without feint. This man's gonna do like 7K, 8K. Excuse me. We did it, boys. Okay, it only did 6.5K, but it's still cool. We still did it, you know. Wooden chest more important. Dalton Prescott. Probably better to go back to Celestia base camp, honestly. Okay, so this 13,000 won't be nearly enough to level me up, but we'll get enough to level us up in like this later worlds, or later streets.
What's that? You've I can.
Hey, look at this, 8K. Like these 2 quests have been a lot actually. That's like 20K experience, which is really good. And I know that the last quest in all of these streets tend to actually give a decent amount, so I'll probably be doing pretty good. Use portal. Like, it's actually, is there only 6 streets? No, there's the middle. There's, what's this, the Stellarium?
You replace the missing pieces of the broken portal.
Yeah. See that? That's another street, so I think that's like 7, 8 streets.
A stellar job! I hate to send you
Yeah. Alright, Thornton Lewis in the Stellarium. Well, thank you all for watching that episode. If you enjoyed, please drop a like for starting Celestia and returning to the solo Let's Play series. So, thank you all for watching. Have a great day.